So I'm here with the Committee of Agriculture and Livestock, obviously because we've played a very important part in drafting and passing legislation, which is Warehouse Receipt System Bill, as well as the Irrigation Bill, the Irrigation Act and the Warehouse Receipt System Act that is already in the implementation stage. But even as we celebrate some of these performances that we have done, we are staring at a situation where our country is going through a very, very unique and difficult times, and especially in the agricultural sector. We are seeing nearly all sectors of agricultural ministry, all crops are in dire need of attention. You're seeing the sugar sector is dead. We're seeing tea sector is ailing. We're seeing cashew nut and coconut sector is dead. And the maize sector have been having these perennial issues. We want the government to intervene very fast because this is going to be disastrous. When you see farmers demonstrating along the streets, the Kenyan farmer today is terrorized by literally all and sundry. Kenyan farmer has no support from State Department, or rather the ministry. Kenyan farmer has no support from the county government. As you are aware, agriculture is a devolved function. And essentially what we need to see is the county government come out strongly to fight for these farmers, because a lot of those farms are in their counties. I would have liked to see governors and senators on the streets of Kenya agitating for the farmers in their region, as opposed to being on the street to asking for more revenue to be allocated to counties. The Kenyan farmer is terrorized by cartels, brokers, left, right, center. The Kenyan farmer is terrorized by vagaries of climate change. And so we are saying we must begin the conversation how we can resuscitate the agricultural sector in this country. We have the conversation of the Big Four. But from where I sit as the chairman of Agriculture Committee, the excitement out there about the Big Four agenda is not reflected in the appropriation, especially when it comes to matters food security, probably housing, universal health care, and so on. Other three pillars may have a different view from what I'm saying, but from where I sit as the person in charge, we do not see that excitement about the Big Four agenda reflected on the appropriation. The policy is not talking to the action, which is really on the ground. Agriculture is not adequately financed. We are way below the 10% of Maputo Declaration. For the 10% of GDP spend must be allocated to agriculture. That is what the Maputo Declaration states. And so as a committee, we are seized of some of these very important matters. And because of the myriads of difficulties and issues that are facing the farmers of this country, the committee is overwhelmed by the number of legislative proposals, bills, questions from members, petitions, and statements. That goes to show the extent of the trouble agriculture is going through. I want to appeal, to make a special appeal to our president to crack the whip and must be guided by the mood in the country right now about what is going on in all ailing sectors of agriculture. The president, with all due respect, must read the mood of the country when it comes to farmers' concerns. We have tea farmers up in arms, we have sugar cane farmers up in arms, we have maize farmers up in arms, coconut up in arms, livestock and dairy production up in arms. We have rice farmers also in trouble. And I think the moment, what the president, I suggest only, I'm not really, if I were the one, the moment I see demonstrations on the road, I fire. Somebody must be held to account. You don't go asking the same ministry that has created the mess for explanation. They will give you glossy figures and rationalization of whatever it is that they have done wrong. And so the best way to deal with issues and to the best way the public officers must be held to account is when you see indicators of disquietness. You see demonstrations of very important sectors of the economy. You hear members of National Assembly crying every single day. Then a multi-agency task force must be formed to look into that matter very quickly, devoid of the ministry concerned. Because if you go to the ministry, they will tell you what, what in their view is the problem, and that may not actually solve the problem. The BBI is a good thing, but let us not be consumed by BBI. I think what is going on in the country is a matter that requires national conversation. I personally support BBI, but I cannot see the farmers in trouble to this extent. The ministry, the maize farmers are about to harvest now mahindi. Why are we not hearing a strategic food reserve fund talking to us when they are going to buy maize from farmers? At what price? Na tumesema safari hii 3,000 and above. Because I think these maize farmers have also been taken for a ride far too long. We are listening to cartels, and unfortunately the media is not helping us. Because some of these cartels, they create some, some situations which look like there are shortage of maize. So that what? The ministry decides to import maize from Mexico or from abroad. So I think in short, we must plan better. And planning is not, in my view, a rocket science. These are cyclical events. If you made an error last year, you must correct it this year. But I'm convinced we have a big problem in the Ministry of Agriculture. And the recent executive order issued by the president also did not help. It just added to the total confusion in the ministry. And so, from where I sit, I want to urge the government, I want to urge our President, Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, to take action, and very urgent one at that.